Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to paint up a Death Guard and kick off my Horus Heresy series. Hello everybody and welcome to this video, kicking off my Horus Heresy series and Death Guard, which won the poll. So I'd run out of primer, so I had to prime this black and then base coat all the armor areas with Corax white, and now I'm going to go back over the white areas with Pallid Witch Flesh. The Death Guard is pretty much a really cool scheme, and you can really do a lot with it, with the weathering and everything else, which we are going to be doing in this video. So I want this video series to sort of really capture the sort of color plates which the Forge World team put into the new books and the older back books. I think these really capture the sort of the feel of the legions really well, and I wanted to try to come up with a painting tutorial that kind of sort of works with this, but really quickly, because Horus Heresy armies normally have a lot of infantry. Tanks are not that great, so we have a lot of infantry. So this is the reason why I was sort of going for more like a sort of quick and easy sort of painting method. Now the slowest part of this is getting the build up of Pallid Witch Flesh. Even on a grey seer or a white primer, you're probably going to need at least 2 to 3 coats to get a solid base coat on the armor. This took me about 4 coats in total. So yeah, but once that's done, we're going to start cleaning up the armor joint using Black Legion contrast paint. Just be very careful. If you make any mistakes, just add a little bit of white over the area that you made a mistake, and then put the Pallid Witch Flesh back over that. Really loving the support that the channel's getting right now. We have hit 2,000 subscribers. Like, it's so cool. So thank you very much for everyone who has supported it. There's about 70% of viewers that have not subscribed, so please hit the sub button and help my channel grow. And obviously like this video if you like it, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future content. It really is much appreciated. The channel's going a bit bonkers right now, and I'm completely blown away by that, so thank you very much to everyone who has given me some help. There are other ways of supporting the channel, but for now I'm not really going to go into them. There's links in the description below, but thank you if you do support me that way as also. So once you've got the sort of bony areas sort of done, you want to sort of get the green areas of the armor done. That's the shoulder pads, and this is Castellan Green by Games Workshop. Again, about 2 coats to get a nice solid a solid base coat, and just add a little bit of water to keep it nice and thin. I like this color, it's kind of cool. I was tempted to sort of do my salamanders a sort of a similar shade to this. So just take your time here, you know, there's no need to rush. And again, if you make any mistakes, use the Corax white and then go back over with the Pallid Witch Flesh if you do. I'm really loving Horus Heresy at the moment. My Salamander Legion is going really well, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's so fun to be back playing it. Such a great game, and the new plastics by Games Workshop are really amazing. I really love these Mark 6, and very intrigued to see what the new improved Mark 3 are going to be. So yes, look out for the preview later this week. Amazing camera work here, by the way. Really showing my skills as a YouTuber. So now we're going to get into the sort of the dirtiness of the armor. So I'm using Skeleton Horde contrast paint, and I've thinned it quite a little bit. And as you can see, I put it on each segment at a time, and then I clean my brush off, and then I sort of like get rid of the excess in certain areas, because I certainly don't want it to pool. And you have to be quite quick, because if it dries, it'll leave a horrible coffee stain. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to Death Guard, because it's dirty, it's nasty, and it kind of fits with the feel of this legion. But for other legions and things like that, you'll want to try to keep it as clean as you can. And if you do make a mistake or make any of these coffee stains, we can go over the top with some chipping and weathering later on. So just slowly work your way around the marine. Again, this marine in total took me about an hour to 90 minutes in total to completely do. So this is really quick. And there's certain stages here that you don't necessarily have to do if you don't want to. You could literally base coat the shoulders and do this contrast stage, and that is it. You don't need to do the chipping or the sort of weathering if you don't really need to, and you will get your marines done for your legion in no time at all. So just going back over the sort of feet areas, because the feet on the Mark 6 are quite prominent with all of the toes and the folds. So just sort of adding a little bit more of the contrast paint over the top of that, just to make them stand out a little bit more. But even at this point, it's looking pretty good, and you'll get away with this on the tabletop, and it will look great. But we just want to do it a little bit better than this, a little bit pushed a little bit more, so they just look really, really super cool on the battlefield. Alright, that looks pretty cool. Right, so this is a sergeant model, so it's going to have a sergeant stripe, because, you know, that's the law. And using some Castellan green, I just very carefully freehand a line straight down the center of the helmet. Again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You could quite easily just use the helmet with the plume to denounce your sergeants and squad unit leaders. I've just gone through from the pictures, and the Death Guard don't seem to use many of the plumed helmets, and would rather sort of just denounce this their rank with this green stripe, which kind of works. So, but if you don't want to, you can just do the plume and then maybe sort of just green it up. There'll be other videos in the series where I'll be using the plumed helmets and stuff like that. So don't worry too much about that. I will be showing how to do them at a later date. Speaking of a later date, the next video after this one is going to be a Raven Guard. Had a lot of requests for black power armor, so there's a couple of black power armors amongst the legions, so I'm going to use this opportunity to sort of do them in a couple of different ways. So now on to the actual weathering itself. Getting a little bit of sponge. This is a little bit of sponge from an old army container. I think it's the old sort of foam trays from a Games Workshop army carry case. Just breaking it up to make it like sort of like not even. Using my trusty pink tweezers. You know, don't knock them, they're amazing. And just put some paint on it, dab off the excess, and then just carefully dab on to where you want the initial colours. This is the pallid witch flesh that I'm going back over. In hindsight, you could probably get away with just doing this as a 50-50 mix, a pallid witch flesh and a white paint. Sort of just make it a little bit brighter, but I did this initial stage and then I come back again with the 50-50 mix and do that, but that's more brushwork rather than the initial sort of the chipping with the piece of sponge. But you can kind of see it on the sort of bottom part how cool it looks. And again, this is perfect for tanks as well, and you can get a really good result. So getting a size 1 from Series 33 from Rosemary CO. It's got a really good point on this, and I've got a 50-50 mix of pallid witch flesh and white, and I'm going to just go through and just sort of like bounce the brush along the edges to sort of make it sort of undulating and make little dots and dashes and scratches, even sort of cutting into the green line to make it look like it's chipped and worn away. Again, this is all optional. You don't really need to do this if you don't really want to, but this kind of just sort of pushes your miniatures to that slightly next level without going crazy and going into sort of like that heavy metal type style. I sadly don't have the decals for the Legion, otherwise I would show them, but in one of the later videos I will show how to put decals and things on in some of them, because I've got some decals for some of the Legions. So what this is again, I'm just going back around the model and I'm just sort of pushing those chipping in slightly more enhanced around certain areas, so the knees, the bottom of the armor, around the feet and whatnot, and this will just really sort of like bring out the edges as well. And this is kind of what you're wanting to do. You're not really wanting to do sort of like a crazy heavy metal style edge highlight, but you sort of broken dots and lines kind of work just as well. And this is really, really quick. And again, it doesn't matter how neat you are for this. You know, if you're pretty much untidy and you make a little few mistakes, doesn't matter. You can just incorporate that into the weathering as a whole. But again, you don't really need to go this far. You could have missed this stage out and then go to the next stage if you really wanted to. I'm just pushing this a little bit more. So now getting some dryad bark, I'm now just carefully going around and filling in the inside of the sort of real brighter white areas to create those chips. Now there are other ways of doing chips. I've seen you can put like the brown or black in place first and then put the lighter color underneath to give it a bit of a highlight, but this is kind of this is an alternative way of doing it. If you've got a good brush and a good steady hand, this can be really, really quick. As you can see, I'm just flying through this. And if you make a mistake and you put a dot where you don't need to, just stick a hedge highlight underneath it and it'll look awesome. The one thing that I've not done on this is gone in and added like streaks and things like that. You can do that, and I'll have a separate video for how to do that at a later date. This was sort of just a quick, simple method of getting your Death Guard legionaries painted to a pretty decent standard for the tabletop really, really quickly. So you know, there's a lot more weathering that you could put into this. But we will look back at that and at a separate weathering video later on in the series. So do not worry, I will cover that. And if there's anything else that you want me to cover, certain specific things like power swords or decals or even like basing and stuff like that, fire it in the comments below and let me know, and I can always add that to the series as well, rather than just sticking to the 18 Legion. I do have another couple of series coming. I've got one on Age of Sigmar and one on 40k, but they're going to be focused mainly on sort of like the heavy metal style, rather than sort of quick and easy tabletop painting, which is what the Horus Heresy one is aimed at. And then we're just going to get Elysian Green from Games Workshop, and we're going to just do the edge highlights on the shoulders. So yeah, as I was saying, there's a lot of cool stuff coming. There's also going to be Cities of Sigmar content for Age of Sigmar as well. This is just going to chart the progress for my new Age of Sigmar, Cities of Sigmar army. And at this point, you're almost done. So I'm just going to say thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, and do all that good stuff. And yeah, really loving the support. And I will see you in the next one. Oh, just a quick bit. This is a Keelian green contrast paint just on the plasma coil. Thought it just looked cool. Again, plasma weapons and things like that will be coming in the series later on. So enjoy. And here he is all finished and based, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. So that's the video, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed it. I know I am, and I've got a lot of these planned, another 17 legions worth. So the next one's going to be a Raven Guard, and then after that I'm probably going to do trader loyalist until I've worked through all 18 legions. So the whole point of this is to sort of show a quick, easy way of doing it. Like I said in the video, this has taken me around about an hour and a half to get completely done. Maybe a little bit more time spent on character models, but this is perfect for just getting your line infantry and your bulk of your heresy armies done and dusted, because that's what heresy armies are about, big amounts of infantry. So you could probably use this as well on tanks. Just be a little bit careful and maybe sort of blend it out a little bit into the sort of the bottom of the panels, but it's really, really easy. And I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, the channel is over 2,000 subscribers. That is amazing. Thank you very much. And we're almost monetized as well, which is even better. So please, if you like this video, drop a like, ring that bell, and please give me your subscription. It would be amazing to have you here as part of the community. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.